also going to restart this song.
Okay.
I'm glad I remembered in that moment instead of after
Craig's
you'd
not
said
going
things.
to
Yeah, Craig can go
restart
fuck
that though.
himself. Alright.
It's okay, Craig. I still love you.
Virgil. In front of you, the man of ice lies still, the glowing points designating his eyes still dim and lifeless within his carved head. You wait. You've been waiting a while now, probably about half an hour. When once the fissures and joints of his body seemed steadfast and unbreakable, with dried dusts of snow staining their surface white, they now look frail and hollow in contrast, like to fracture under pressure. Around you the wind gently blows, wisping zephyrs that carry within them visions of indistinct creatures and shapes that show a world that was not always frozen. A small person with a childlike run, their body moving faster than their legs can carry, brings a small unseen trinket to one much larger than him. A forlorn and exhausted wanderer holds the reins of an otherworldly steed they walk alongside, assessing the horizon in front of them, impossibly far away, on a pilgrimage that would seemingly never end. An elder, sitting simply on a large stone and wrapped in layers and layers of cloth, tired eyes gleaming from the abyss of their hood as their hands deftly and skillfully weave on a loom in front of them. They all exist so briefly in the visions, 3 or 4 seconds at most, but as they disappear, something chilling replaces them, something invisible. Somehow you're sure that these people were real. They existed with their own stories, pasts, families, goals, and despairs. The creature in front of you, the one not occupying these visions, is not dead. He is sleeping. And these hallucinogenic winds are his dreams. His eyes flicker back to life, displaying a fraction of the light they had before. The frozen water around him rises in columns, seemingly on its own, to assist him as he pushes himself to a sitting position, head hanging low, shoulders sagging. He looks so tired. He looks as if he bears a great invisible weight, and as he becomes aware of you, you hear Virgil Hariti.
That would be me.
And my efforts were not in vain.
You saved the others all the same as well, and offered a portal back. As far as I'm aware, they're fine. I don't know. I decided to wait and see if you would wake up.
You don't have to feign empathy.
Well, bold of you to assume it's feigning. If you don't want me to be empathetic, then you can imagine it as a sort of self-interest. If you die, then all this power goes away, and we're stuck not fulfilling your demand. But I am actually concerned. I have a heart. Several of them, but I have one in me, too.
His shoulders kind of rise a little bit, and his head rears back as he puts a little more poise in his sitting posture. And a silence kind of settles before he says, I enslave you.
Yep.
Means or no. Empathy doesn't make sense.
Well, you're still a person, kind of. You have your own hopes and dreams. I'm not going to snuff them out.
It's gonna roll insight. Are you lying or telling the truth?
He's telling the truth. He's not gonna like fucking. he actually. Wow.
All right. Well,
My dude.
despite that, it doesn't.
My Iceman.
It doesn't,
My boy.
Doesn't seem like he. There's an unsureness behind his expression, and it's not one that he brings up again. Before he says, "There's a curiosity about you," and his eyes direct to the arm that has your spiral tattoo going down it.
Yeah, this, Oh! That reminds me, everyone else has died at least once. I should probably check them over. And fucking makes a mental note of that. Just about like taps his head. Gotta remember that. But, yes, it's quite curious.
Roll insight. He doesn't say anything immediately to you. But, comma, ellipsis, enter, indent.
Maybe fucking if he rolled him now, I can't believe he. This all-powerful god, well, not all-powerful, but this guy got.
Oh shit! Yeah, what am I saying? Why am I having you roll insight? You're supposed to roll Jeff.
Roll funny, Jeff.
It's weird to you that this thing that comes from this guy that's clearly connected to him.
Oh
like,
my god!
Like now that you can you can kind of hold your left arm up and keep it in vision, like as you look at the Iceman. And the color of cyan coming from the scar is the exact same color as the lights that are his eyes. And
well, that makes a bit sense, yeah.
But he seems ignorant about it, or at the very least, if it was something he did, it may have been unintentional. And the last thing you notice is that it's actually completed moving down your arm. It now reaches your wrist.
Oh, that's new. You know, it actually looks an awful lot like your eyes, thinking about it.
I'm unsure of if that's a joke.
You want me to pull up a mirror? He just kind of like gestures to the frozen wasteland because I'm sure ice is plenty reflective enough. I'm being serious.
I was under the impression that you'd stolen something from me.
Oh, yes. That makes perfect sense. Steal something from the all-powerful being who's using us. Yes, and could snuff... Sorry?
I am not all-powerful, or you wouldn't be on this fool's errand.
Okay, relatively all-powerful in comparison to a mortal? Questionable? Like, there's definitely a power scale here, is what I'm saying.
It looks like as you say this, they he you can intuit pretty easily that this is an individual that, while capable of everything that he's done to obviously power you guys up, with what he's been giving you recently, like the recent big power boost with saving you from the moon laser, it looks like that is coming close to exhausting him completely, and that maybe he's having doubts that you're even capable of doing what he asks.
I certainly feel you on that one. It's a big task that you've given us, but we have succeeded twice already. And I think even made an ally of the person who killed Amalia, so, we got that going for us. The road ahead might be tough and troubling, and if you're really unsure of it, then by all means you can have all of what you've given me back, and I will find my own way of doing it, because there is a mystery here, and I intend to solve it, whether without your help or with someone else's. With your help or someone else's, rather.
You say that I could take the power I've given you back when in reality our relationship is not so simple. That on your arm is a testament to that fact. What I've done with you, it is not ground that has been tread often. It is not an exact science. It's something that I've had to do out of necessity. Your words of encouragement seem like they haven't really had much of an effect on his disposition. That said, there was
It's
something
fair.
that I meant to ask you.
Hmm?
This individual hunting the wizard.
Yes?
What does he look like?
Well, you can't really see his face. He carries a mask. My theory currently is that it was damaged badly when he was in Eden himself. But
Um, so the ice guy reaches up over his shoulder and around to like where the back of his neck connects to his torso, and he pulls something around, and you see some of the ice that comprises like his collar area just shifting as something's brought to the surface. It's a string with a pendant, and dangling from that pendant is a single wind chime. He, with a tug, tears the pendant off of his neck and tosses the thing in its entirety to you.
Can I just catch it?
Yep.
Cool.
I suppose my questions are for him then. Do not so easily make an ally of him. If you can, bring him to me.
Theoretically, I may very well be able to do that. Where did I put it? And he pulls out the orb thing that lets him call Razorface. Because I hadn't forgotten about that.
Yeah, no. That's it might work. Do you want to just like try to use it now?
It's worth a shot,
Alright,
right?
is that good or bad?
High is good.
Doesn't work. It also seems like
Yeah.
even if I had rolled a 100, it wouldn't have worked. Maybe I was just humoring you.
Why do you do this to me?
It doesn't really matter. It looks like that was kind of the reason he tossed the pendant to you. It'll let
Of course.
It'll let
But
you
like,
hitch him along.
he figured, oh well, maybe. It was definitely worth a shot. Because it was there in the beginning, in the first place.
Another second passes before he says, I don't need to explain to you how dangerous doing such a thing is. But at this point, I don't think we really have a choice.
I'm reasonably certain that Razorface knows more than knows a lot more than he lets on. He hides behind a shield of apathy. So, I'm certain that he could be a good informant should he choose.
It may be some time before I can pull from my reservoir to assist you again. It even may go so far as not being able to save you from death should it befall you.
Well, in complete honesty, you saved literally every one of us from a giant-ass moon laser. I would imagine that's pretty taxing, yes.
It's at this point that, like, you finally start to understand some of his trepidation. Because what exhausted him the most was absolutely not you guys dealing with the Sylvan denizen. It was you guys dealing with the forces acting against you that he had no idea existed. It's the people from your world. And that's kind of... It definitely seems like he is having a hard time dealing with it.
Yeah, people are unpredictable as hell like that.
His head kind of droops forward again, and his shoulders start to sag more. You can really tell that this guy's exhausted.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to ask?
Well, that was really the whole point that Virgil stayed behind, but a good chunk of his questions have actually been answered, so...
Let's see. We can go over some stuff out of the fiction to see if it reminds you of anything you wanted to bring up. It could be anything to do with Abraxy. Could be anything to do with the Tenebrae. Have you guys asked him about, like, because he wants you to kill the denizens. What he's said about the Tenebrae so far has basically been they're trying to merge the two places, and it's gonna, they're just
Fuck
accelerating
everything
what's
up.
gonna
Yeah.
happen anyways, which is
Yeah.
what he's
Yeah.
against.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um.
Mm.
It looks like your spiral's done, so you don't even need to ask about any of that, even though he's already basically
And
explained he has no idea what the fuck it is.
yeah, that was really that was definitely the biggest thing that I had wanted to ask, but
By the way, good job.
he
Like,
answered it.
right after me saying, like, I made it I didn't make it hard to progress your spiral. I made it obscure and didn't really give you many hints about it. And then like you're like, I want to stay behind and talk to him. I'm like, shit, that finishes it. All right. So like nice work with that.
Okay, I didn't know what I was I'm just being nice.
I know.
I wasn't aiming for that, but I'll take it.
That's
Shit.
good. That I like that anyways. Let's see.
I suppose it would be good to get another destination in mind, so informing him about Abraxas and the fact that it's definitely a denizen
Do you want to talk
would
to
give
him
them their next destination.
about like Nartzreth in general? Actually, I have a good direction this can go.
Okay.
So, this doesn't actually really need a prompt from you, but if you want to start with one, you can.
Really, like, with as exhausted as he looks, Virgil is kind of like looking and wondering if maybe he could splash some adrenaline shots or drink it or something
You
to
can
help
intuit
him.
that you have no idea how this dude's vitality works if he's capable
Yeah,
of giving you
but
power.
it's at least, the principle of the matter.
Actually, do you want to try and figure out the juice he runs on?
Sure.
Well, you're gonna have to get him comfortable with you trying to figure that out. So, what are you doing?
I mean, there's a part of me that's very, very, very inquisitive of your nature as a whole, and you're very exhausted, and you understand, right? I'm a doctor. I want to help you not be exhausted, and I have these adrenaline shots, but they kind of work on people.
Kind of wordlessly, they just kind of cock their head and respond. You'd like to do research on me?
Well, only to help. Because I don't like seeing you like this, quite
Yes,
frankly.
I paused that. What should I do? And you want to just like give him this fucking like a medical exam?
Let's give a medical exam.
All right, roll
to
medicine.
Paragon.
We'll cut to a few images of you of him standing up and T-posing, and you like hitting a little mallet on his knee, and like his leg just kicks and reflex.
Not that one. Not that one.
Oh god.
Wow.
Yikes. So actually,
I'm gonna
before
infer
you,
from all that,
before you roll,
it might take a bit.
before you roll, just to be a fan of the player here, this spiral, after your most recent meeting with the individual that holds your soul proxy, the uncanny scar going down your left arm has left its skin and is now present as a coil of blue energy, like a string hovering a few centimeters off the surface of your black fur. It doesn't follow the motions of your arm perfectly, rather it has a tendency to lag behind before bobbing back into place, And in the instances where you make contact with it, it feels very comfortably cool in temperature. You now have access to the ability Apocrypha. As an action, use a point of effort to deeply analyze a creature that you can touch with your Septuagint arm, which is your left arm now, by willing the string of blue energy into it. It will remain in the creature for a duration of hours equal to your proficiency modifier, or until you retract it willingly or fall unconscious. Creatures affected by Apocrypha have any weaknesses and affinities communicated to Virgil, will always have their location known to Virgil, even if he might not be able to tell what their location is, and can be communicated to by Virgil mentally but cannot communicate back. These benefits do not translate between the barrier of Jericho and Eden.
Fuck, that's cool.
I'll give all of that to you in text, but basically, if you want to go ahead and exert that 12, I'll let you exert that 12.
I can't believe, like, I mean, I suppose fair dues is fair dues, and the guy fucking like, oh hey, I roll one on insight, and the fucking subservient rolls a. It's the same number, isn't it? Too? Ain't that
No,
hilarious?
he has a plus 12.
Oh yeah, he had a plus 12. Still, you know.
It is funny. It is funny that you both roll a 1 and you get in the double digits. Evie, why are you headbutting the box?
Okay, well.
18. So, yeah, whatever he is, it's very different. And it's also, you don't get anything here, but you do get a clock. And I'm gonna title this clock Buffing Up Iceman. Oh, you've been on the wrong screen the whole last time. You were supposed to be there.
I was supposed to be in Sepulture, yeah.
Oopsies.
It's fine.
Where's my clocks? There we are. So, this is going to be a 24 step. It's hard to do.
Well, Virgil is nothing if not committed to the medical science.
And it's gonna be titled
Buffing the Iceman?
Buffing the Iceman. I'll give you a hint. The type of stuff that you'll need, it feels best to ask Amalia.
Yeah, I figured that one. Like, definitely gonna try and drag Amalia here. She's a lot better at this Arcana thing. I have a base grasp, very minor, but
Another place you could start is after you've killed a few more denizens that exist within their little pockets of Eden. Because the indestructible had a very specific way that it got weaker, right? Most of them tend to have a specific kind of weakness, and if you figure out what this guy's is, you could try to reverse engineer it. So that's another possibility.
Figuring out where exactly his base camp is, and
if that's something you're going to want to pursue, you might want to ask about how to get here willingly. Because so far he's just pulled you here.
Would definitely be a good idea. At the same time, I don't think he trusts us enough to divulge that information. More, less he doesn't trust us, more the risk of the leak of information it could bring. It could attract the wrong folk if
you could still try.
Virgil has like a pretty good intelligence. I don't think.
Alright, no problem. So, wanna go back?
I still want to like a little bit of are you like you got this? Is there literally anything I can fucking do?
He probably
And
starts to get a little annoyed.
it's fair. It's fair. Like you're not my mom. Okay. Okay. Fine. You're right. One last question though. You see, there's this guy, and I fucking hate him, and I know he's a denizen, and I need to know where he is so I can get rid of him.
You're giving me precious little to work with here.
Okay. So there's this old man, but he's not an old man, and there's a fungus in his brain, or maybe his brain is made of fungus, and I've killed him like thrice, and he keeps coming back. His name is Abraxi. That's definitely his
He thinks for a
fucking
second.
body, and it's weird that he. Well, I mean, I suppose any of them could cross the boundaries between the state lines, quote unquote, but still, I'm still.
You say... What did you say? He revives himself? Or he reverses time?
He has revived himself at
Okay.
least thrice.
So Iceman thinks about this for a bit, and then afterwards says, "There's a few things I'd like to worry you with, having heard this. The first is, do make sure the next time you venture here to Eden, you revisit that cloud city and take a look at the other side. The second, reviving himself. I would investigate. Did you just explain Nartzreth to him?
Yes.
I would investigate the Alusians. That said, it is very likely that he nods to the Windchime amulet he tossed to you. It's very likely that your friend is on his way to the floating island in the sky. You called it the Bastio district.
Yes, that's correct.
So, he gives you 3 points of investigation. The place you guys very first came to Eden in, which was above the Cherus district, the Aluk district, and the Bastio district.
I'm writing this down.
Also, roll a general charisma roll.
Sure.
Because you know what? I wouldn't be a responsible clocker if I didn't do this. 19. Fuck. You are 2 out of 8 steps on this clock.
Is it Alec like Alec Shar?
Aluk.
A-L-U-K?
A-L-L-U-C.
Okay.
It's the first 5 letters of Alusian.
I thought Lucine was with an E.
No.
Well, that'll do then.
I think the only district that doesn't share a naming convention with the presiding family was the Cherus and the Atzenales. Bastio is the district for... Is it just the Bastio family? Let me check real fast. Anyways, if you're going back, I can end the recording.
I think that's all that he
No,
actually has to
it's
ask.
the Rissal
So,
family. The families that share naming conventions are the Eshravai district with the Shuv family, the Alec district with the Eleusians, and the Arca district with the Arcasians. Alright, well,
I think that'll do it. Yeah.
great. Alright, bye-bye.
Poof.